hesitating.
Alright, on an old-fashioned Harley now. Oh boy, this seat is comfy. This thing is significantly heavier than those bikes with the new engines. And this bike don't have a whole lot going on as far as, like, I hate these old transmissions. Throw is so far. But I ain't getting my toes stuck in it like on the Sportster. I don't know which I'd rather have, honestly. Yeah, not a whole lot going on the gauge. You got your little lights, and then you got your speed and your RPM. Oh, boy, but does it have that Harley sound. Oh, this is cool. Yeah. I love those engines. Don't get me wrong. This is cool. I wish those engines sounded like this. This is what a Harley should sound like. I like this Lowrider ST, honestly. And I was saying I like those controls earlier, but I do miss the fact that they did the stuff like this, the turn signals like this. I like this bike better than the Pan America. Yeah, these things don't rev out at all in comparison to those new engines. But this is fun. Yeah, this is this is what draws people to the Harleys. Not the handling, not the speed. So I don't know if the new bikes are going to draw the Harley crowd in. It's the feel. Like, these engines, man, they're so much different than that new engine. It's way more of an experience. And I like the new engines, honestly, because you don't have those separate oil, like, transmission and engine. I mean, it's not that huge of a deal. But it is nice having an all-in-one shared engine and transmission fluid. Good brakes. Man, these things are torquey. When I kick the Harley, like, this bike's ergonomics, like, you're in such a weird seating position. But so, like, it's weird when you're coming from a metric bike to a standard. Just the way you sit. Like, I feel like those bikes, they were normal. So Harley's new stuff, it's coming from a metric bike, it feels pretty normal. This, you're in an odd seat, your butt's low, your knees are high, it's weird. But I'm comfy. There's lots of cushion on this seat. This is a nice bike. I wonder what the price is on this. If this is $17,000 or $19,000, that's too much. If this is 15, like the Sportster S price, that's a good price. But it's got nothing, like it's bare bones. So I couldn't see paying 17 for this, which is, I bet that's 17, 19. I bet that's where they have them priced. Probably 17, because I think a stock Street Glide is, like bare bones Street Glide is 19. This is stock exhaust. This sounds good. But that's like what he was saying. These can't meet the new regulations, which is bull crap that they're imposing such strict regulations on motorcycles. I think you should just leave motorcycles alone. Regulate cars if you have to. I don't think they should be regulating cars either. I mean, cars need to get better. Motorcycles, they all already get over 30 mpg. I mean, maybe some of them dip down into the 20, like 25. Still way better than any truck's gonna do. Just leave them alone. I like this bike though. I like, because I wouldn't spend that much on an off-road bike, I don't love the Pan America. It's fun, but it gets too hot in traffic, and B, it's just too expensive for what you're going to do with it. This bike is fun. I don't know the price on this. I'm assuming it's too much because it says HD, but I would take this over the Pan America. This is still super comfy. And yeah, music's awesome, but it's not $30,000 for a nice Street Glide or Indian Challenger. I wish Indian had a fairing bike like this. This is awesome. This Lowrider ST is a ton of fun. I would buy one of these. And I would buy a Sportster and a Nightster. I would not buy a Pan America. Even though I think it's a great bike, like if you want something like that, go for it. I just think it's, for its use purpose, it's too expensive. Yeah, I just think it's too expensive for what you're going to use it for. It's not what you want to, how much you want to spend on something you're going to be taking off-road. I really like this. This is fun. This is probably one of my favorite bikes I've been on all day. And you got tons of room to add stuff in. My favorite part is that this is a fully faired bike, but with plenty of airflow. Sure, you got no options, so you don't got heated grips. That would be something I wish I had, but not needed. But like on a day like today, it's hot out, I feel great on this. It's not fast, don't get me wrong, but it'll throw you back, but it's not fast. But the sound is so much better. The airflow is amazing. Man, this is, I might have to, because I'm interested in that Nightster, that Sportster, and now I'm really interested in this. And it sounds so much better. Those bikes are too quiet. And I think I'd go with this over a Fat Bob. This is fun. I will say the brakes on these bikes, the Pan America I think had the best, and the Sportster had the best brakes by far. This still isn't bad. It's still, and it looks, yeah, it's got dual discs up front. It stops good for a big bike. This is awesome, man. I'm loving this. Right now I'm just enjoying this ride. And see, this is the speeds we should have been doing earlier. We're going about 50. This is perfectly fine. It's just so minimalistic, and I love it. Like, you don't need more than this. Like, yeah, I would prefer a normal tack, but I don't mind this digital one at all. You can still tell where you're at. I mean, it does have a tack. It's just digital, not analog. It was clunking because I was in second gear. It is a bit cumbersome around the corner. I went over into the other lane quite a bit there. Might have been pinging there, I'm honestly. That was a pretty loud knock. So you might not want to run this engine too low in the RPM. Or like load it up too much down low. It was clunking pretty bad. That's something that you're not going to see in those bikes with those new engines versus these old style ones. This little GoPro. In 1080p it goes for a long time. Yeah, this bike's, man, I just can't get over how much fun it is. Yeah, it shakes. Yeah, it's not as advanced as those new engines, but man, it's hard to beat. And I think it handled pretty good with the, I think your pegs are up higher and your bags are definitely up higher. And it swings over pretty easy. Not bad. I mean, when you're going slow, it's heavy, don't get me wrong. But man, I think anybody who gets on this bike is gonna have a good time. Oh, this thing has cruise control? No way. Oh, that just put me over the edge. Love this thing. It's a bare bones bike with everything that you need. You got cruise control and not much else, but great airflow. That's the big thing that a lot of baggers get wrong, is the airflow is just, it's in all the wrong spots. And your head's buffeting because the airflow's just, which maybe I'm not going fast enough to experience it, but I love it. This is, I mean, I am getting a little bit of buffing, I think. It's not yanking me around too bad though. But man, what a cool bike. I love the mini gauge. That's awesome. Gotta test out those brakes there. You kind of feel like you're leaning back, so it does get a little bit uncomfortable on your back after a while. Man, I wish I'd had that Pan America out for this ride. I think it's still too hot on that thing. I don't know what it is, but that engine just pours off heat. It's bad. And it wasn't like that on the Sportster, so I don't know what that's about. These pegs are really wide. I think if you're a Harley diehard, the Pan America is probably, I mean, it's your only option if you want to go on an ADV bike. I think there's better options for that kind of bike though. That one does have a lot of tech on it though, so there is that too. But I think if Cruiser, the Sportster, the Lowrider ST, and the Nightster, all awesome. Not going to disappoint. And I don't know why people are saying the Sportsters, like, not that great. Like, I've seen some people saying that they weren't impressed with it. That thing's nuts. I don't know if they just weren't revving it out good enough or what, but